Hey guys, so today's video is called Eagle's Flight. I got this because yesterday I was dwelling deep in the secret place and I was listening to this song and so powerful. And God gave me this word. So first I ended up looking up the Strong's definition for eagle, and it means the word in the Strong's I got was aetos, Aetos, and it normally coexists with a word that means to blow, which is Aemi. Amy and Atos normally go together. So, what both of those words mean combined is a wind like flight. So, I pretty much did this last night. Then I finished it up this morning because I did all the research for me to understand like what God was saying, but I was hearing God unctioning me to teach about it, but I cannot give the same thing that God gave me. So I pretty much just kind of made some jot downs, like look up Strong's definition, look up scriptures, and receive the prophetic message, da da da. So I did that last night. I finished it this morning. Then I went out and I just came back home. And when I opened up my iPad, literally everything that is EA, I don't know if you can see it. It's highlighted like on all of my notes. Everything that has every word that has EA next to each other is highlighted. So I'm tapping around. I'm like, I didn't even know you can do that. How is that even possible? So I realized there's something with EA. I think there's something with EA. So I just felt led to look up EA KJV in Google, and this is what came up. It's an interjection that expresses wonder, fear, and indignation. EA is an apparent imperative of G1439, which means let it be. And as an interjection, EA is similar to ha or ah, like ha, ah. It can be used to express wonder mixed with fear or indignation. So I just felt led to look up indignation, and God spoke to me because I literally just found this right now, so I didn't really do too much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so indignation means anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment. And what I saw was somebody was being pursued on their endeavor and they were told to take flight. So it's like, bro, you out here trying to kill me, like, ain't no way. But sometimes God will allow something to pursue you, and you may have some form of righteous indignation where you're like, oh my gosh, God, you're not trying to make me crash out, are you? And that provokes you into just walking by faith, like literally. And it's crazy because God is using this to confirm, because one of the scriptures I have is pertaining to the Red Sea, and how a lot of times it takes someone pursuing you to drive you. You know, it takes that moment of like, it's like, I like how it says ha and ah, because it's like you get that moment where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm victorious. You know, and that's like, if that understanding found expression, it would show up like ha or ah. So I just had to add that in there because I was not planning on adding that, but I really felt led to. So the scriptures, I have four sets of scriptures that I'm gonna be talking about. So one of them is Exodus 14:13 through 14. I always use KJV. And it says, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, ye shall see them no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. What God was revealing to me is that in order for you to mount up with wings like eagles, and I'm going to get into that scripture, there's a certain understanding of the provision and the protocol that God has for your life. This was a provision and a protocol. This was what God was using Moses to tell the people that they were supposed to do. Stand still and know that the Lord your God is going to fight for you. Because I know you think this problem will not go away, but God is going to cause you to mount up with wings like eagles, and you will run and not grow weary, you will walk and not faint. That's pretty much what he's saying. Because it still took them going on an endeavor and a journey for them to be victorious. So even though there was a spiritual provision, there was also a physical provision for them. That's why they literally were walking through the sea on foot. So the next scripture that I have is John 3, verse 8. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst tell whence it cometh and where it go. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. This is something very important, because the reason why the Egyptians, I love how God really confirmed this to me, but the reason why the Egyptians attacked them the way that they did is because they were not anticipating that they would be drowning. They did not anticipate the way the people who were taking their exodus left. They left like the wind. You see what I'm saying? You start to almost have an understanding like, wait, how is this happening? What's going on? You are longing. That's what God revealed to me. Like, the reason why the Egyptians pursued them so heavily is because they were longing to figure out, what type of person are you? What type of people are you? All these people have held bondage, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to be letting y'all go, and I'm letting y'all go. Go find them. It's because there was righteousness about them. Those people were born of the Spirit, a lot of them. So there was a certain wonder and phenomenon when it came to those people. So the next thing that the next scripture is Isaiah 40, verse 30 to 31. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So what this is saying is everyone has the ability to be weak, and most people will be. But those that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. And what God gave me was, normally at the hilltop, you're not called to just do what is natural and just go down and go for the next endeavor. But this is how God takes you glory to glory, because you wait for him. You're at the mountaintop, you bask and you bathe in his presence, you see his glory, and now he starts to cause you to mount up with wings like eagles. So when you think that now you're going to keep trekking on foot over and over, what God revealed to me is it took them, Moses and the people he led, a physical victory to almost solidify that spiritual victory. So sometimes you go through those endeavors where you start to actually trek, and it becomes hard for you in the physical realm, but there's an edification that's happening in the spirit. So it's the same way, like when you're traveling up, you're going through what is needed for you to continue to maintain that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not someone who's just going up and it's just like, well, I'm up here. It's someone who has gone up and went through that process. They've walked through the light. They've went through the endeavor and edification. So it becomes something that God can now start to take you glory to glory. So even though there are some mountains that you can skip over, there are some high places that you can bring low. Part of the provision in some cases is you mounting up with wings like an eagle, and it's about you flying over that thing. It's about you going through the process where you might climb something like Mount Everest, something that seems impossible, the highest and most difficult warfare in the world. But it's because God is going to use what the enemy meant for bad for your good. The enemy is the one who plans some of these endeavors. The enemy is also someone who attacks you on these endeavors. Sometimes endeavors are called by God, even though it's super difficult, but the enemy tries to sow tares among the wheat. So when you prevail over that, there's a certain victory and empowerment. Eagles symbolize bravery. that cause you to be able to obey God and just go.